there are people who play a certain part, and that's where most people want us to stay locked for our life. In order to move out of the normal role that we play, we actually pay a very heavy price, because people won't like it and they will do whatever they can to get us back into that old role. And I've experienced that many times. So in order to be brave enough to get to that stage, we need to underpin our success with health and really looking after ourselves, because if we don't, then you can't do this personal work. So underpinning our success is looking after ourselves in terms of regular exercise, very good food, whatever spirituality means to you, do that. You've got to do that, and to constantly monitor this. And when I talk to people at any level of society about this, they're actually really surprised, but that the personal structures will underpin your success in every area of your life. And if you're not doing that, then you're not feeding the person within that needs that support.
Yes, I agree with you, Mary, that and thank you for being really aware of the people that maybe just starting out, and that not to make it like it's so hard. I really appreciate that, and I agree with you that, you know, all of this stuff that I know and practice today, none of this happened overnight for me either. I've been on this journey for more than 30 years, and it's been constant trials and errors, trying all the things, trying a lot of things that didn't work.
Yeah. Absolutely, and that's the way it is until the day that you die. When you see switched on people, that's the way they operate. But the other thing is, if you think of yourself and look at a child that you would, or the parent that you would love to have had, and I write this clearly in the book, we would all love to have had this incredible parent who knew what, who was very switched on, who was constantly doing their personal development. They then had children, and they were aware consciously and from a neuroscience perspective of what a child can relate to at any single age. And then they guided that child, they mentored them, they loved them, and they held them responsible. Now the reality is very few of us had that sort of parent, and a lot of people go on to throughout their life and they blame their parents. Their parents did the very best that they can. What they now have as an adult, they have the opportunity to change their life, to change what they don't like, and then the ripple effect, so everybody that they associate with gets that as well. So at some point in our life, we have to put a line in the sand and say, okay, my parents did the very best they could, regardless of how horrible or wonderful it was. It's my turn now. And that's where a lot of people can stay stuck in the blame, justify and deny. And I know that when I moved through that, that was liberating. It was opening another door. And it was scary as well, though, because I felt a bit alone at that stage.
Yeah, I went through that myself, Meredith. It was very.
So can I just give people who are starting out, because if the people are really switched on, then they will know where they're going and they'll be inspired by what we're saying. Can I give the people who aren't as clear as how you and I feel at the moment a bit of information?
Sure.
So in the reason that as I alluded to before, I went into IB coaching because I identified that I had a natural gift in this area. And what I noticed was I was actually able to assist people who weren't getting help from psychologists or the professionals to start to live a fantastic life. I mean, it floored me. I thought, what on earth's going on here? It surprised me more than it surprised them. But because I seemed to have this gift, I then wanted to share it. So if it's to be, it's up to me. I documented the whole process, and it's done over a 3-month period. It gives people the questions. It teaches them what to do. And I've seen the results from this all around the world. So it's just holding your hand and teaching people what to do. First of all, they've got to identify what their life's about, so they can write this down. And then they can pick, say, 2 or 3 areas, or maybe, depending on how they're feeling, maybe just one to start with. What is an area in their life that they would like to be different? And the bottom line is that it has to be, whatever they choose has to be realistic. They have to be inspired to do it. They mightn't be inspired by the work, but they'll want the outcome. It has to be measurable, and they have to commit to being accountable to it. So they don't want to get stuck in the way of the New Year's resolutions. We all know by that, and the research shows that by the end of February, 70% have dropped. And I can see why, because people pick up too big of goals. They want to change their world initially, they can't. So